In the world of architecture today, the contemporary design that we describe as modern resembles typically floor-to-ceiling glass, aligned with stucco siding that could range from multiple colors between white and gray. So how would you as an architect in today's time of the modern stand out above the rest? Well, we look at Wallace Cunningham to solve that equation. The last property we looked at of Wallace Cunningham was none other than the Razor House, and we actually checked it out for Celebrity Sunday because if you don't know, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz are the current owners of that property. But today we're going to look at another house of his, which is also super famous. I'm Drayson, and this is Architecture Wednesday. All right, and then right here we have I still got to work on the intro, okay? But just imagine that there's nice, beautiful properties flashing on the screen. I know this is probably super easy for me to make, and I just don't do it. I promise you next week I'll have something like it, okay? But in the music. All right. So yes. Last time we looked at a property of Wallace Cunningham, it was the Razor House, and anyone that knows me knows I love the Razor House. And I really, really like what Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz did with the place because it's a very, very cold style, to say the least. With the concrete industrial feel and the way that they had it staged before they bought it, it was, it's really cold. It was a very, very nice place for a bachelor, a Tony Stark's, if you will. And that was it, right? That's what we mean at least that's what I mean when I say the property feels cold. It feels not like a place where there's a family, right? It's not a place where there's clearly love there. It is a place for an individual who just has, the means to afford the property, and it's very clean. It's clean. Typically cold is very clean. It's super clean. That's the key element to a property that feels cold is cleanliness, sterile, if you will. So we're going to look at another property, like I said, that's also famous as, seen in Westworld, which is a show that was on HBO. Personally, I've never watched it, but if you're a fan of that show, leave it in the comments. Let me know, did I miss anything? Should I go watch the show? Is the show even still on? Is it airing anymore? Or do I just go on Max and just binge watch it? You let me know if it's worth watching or not. So we are going to check out this property courtesy of Architectural Digest. The home was on the market. It did, in fact, end up selling. And funny enough, the listing agent that sold this house, the Crescent House, also sold the Razor House, and that is Josh Altman. But there was another listing agent at the time that this video took place, so we won't see Josh in the video at all today. But we do get to listen to the architectural mind himself, Wallace Cunningham. So I'm super excited to see this place. I've never seen this place before. So let's check it out.
Welcome to Crescent House, located at 532 Neptune Avenue in beautiful coastal.
So first impressions, the technique or the materials, and the color lines are very, very similar to the Razor House. So let's see if there's like concrete. Like this looks like this could be concrete, and then there's like this kind of like aluminum type of finish on the outside, but there's definitely some concrete in here.
Encinitas, California. This home is perched on the Pacific on a bluff with 74 feet of ocean frontage. The lot at 0.43 acres is large for bluff-front Encinitas. The house itself is also immense, 6,329 square feet, with 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms,
It's very
endless
nice.
indoor and outdoor living with panoramic ocean views, and a pool. And it's all on the market for $23,500,000.
It was on the market for $23 million. What do you guys think it ended up selling for? Okay. Obviously, you could cheat and go to the end of the video. Don't do that. Write it down on a sheet of paper or leave it in the comments what you think it actually sold for. And I'll reveal the answer towards the end of the video. But yeah, looking at this, I was really curious. I'm kind of glad that I stopped on this. Was the pool facing the view? And you can see the view from the pool, but you know, it's through here. So the pool is kind of like closed off and open at the same time. It's interesting. And it does take a pretty picture from the aerial, and I think that was the focal for this design.
So we're now inside the beautiful courtyard and in front of the pool for which the house.
That couldn't have been like worst time to have a car pass by, just to let you know how many different neighbors there are to this. Like this property stands out. I mean, you've seen the other houses that are on the bluff. They're like really traditional type of houses. Like they're nothing like this. They're not modern either. And you know, so totally different.
Of the pool for which the house is named. And we're fortunate today to have Wallace Cunningham, the visionary architectural designer. One of the things I've heard when I've heard you speak about this house is this gate. Can you tell us a little bit about the gate and the design of this courtyard?
Absolutely. So from the outside, you see this sweeping crescent stainless steel shape. In plan, you can see the ramps winding up, which also has that same piece.
That's a really unique
And then the swimming pool itself
design.
is a crescent moon shape around a circular terrace. So this part of the house is all about radiating curves and ramps. So when I start to design, you really analyze the site. Number one is the view. You figure out how you're going to portray it. It's like framing a work of art. And since that's what you're interacting constantly with, the ocean, you want to be able to see as much of it as possible and from the most dramatic angles.
So another feature, Wally, that is so fascinating when I tour people through this house are the ramps.
My feeling was that the house was designed for an older couple, so I wanted it barrier-free. I wanted people, regardless of all ages, to get where they wanted safely and effortlessly, because this building is designed upside down. All of the principal day rooms are above.
You know, that whole ramp feature, that's very similar to Dave and Gladys's house.
We're upstairs at the top level here.
Frank Lloyd
which
Wright's
you call the main living area.
son
when you
and
were
daughter.
building it, you were envisioning, I would imagine, views. Tell us more about your thoughts for this space.
Absolutely. We're standing on a bridge above the breezeway with the largest panorama of the ocean, so you can look up and down. Just an amazing 180-degree view. And you can also overlook the city beyond to the east. Lots of cross ventilation. It's as though the roof just hovered above the structure, supported on the fireplace and the far walls. The room is as big as the view. Most rooms end at the glass line or a wall or window coverings. This is infinite space. It's just going until you can see no more. So it's almost alive because the house appears to move and change throughout the entire day. So it's on an east-west exposure. So you're getting this very dramatic lighting actually going right through the house, under the house. So the furniture reflects the architecture of the space. So this table has an unusual shape to maximize the views out and
Okay. It's cold. This whole concept of, you know, like this edgy table. This is cold. This is nothing for a family. And then there's two of the tables. I get it that the furniture is shaped with the glass, but I don't think this was necessary at all. This is totally unnecessary. And I don't understand why, felt the need to have it staged that way, right? I get what he's saying. I'm not saying I don't understand. Like, he's literally saying why he did it. Literally saying why he did it. What I'm saying is I don't understand why he had to come to that conclusion that this is what needed to be done, when he could have just put in a normal dining table at an angle, and it would have pretty much done just the same. And in fact, it's more conventional. It's more conventional for a family. If you're like a bachelor, there's no way in hell you need two tables, right? If you're a single woman, there's no way you need two tables. It doesn't work in practicality is all I'm saying.
And across to the east, and it's reflected in the ceiling lines. It connects everything. Every piece of furniture, every piece of art is part of the picture space and the design.
One of the little hidden gems in this house is this movable wall, and it is the bar area. So when entertaining, this glass panel slides and it camouflages the kitchen, reveals this beautiful bar.
Okay.
And with the mirror here, then you get the effect of the panoramic ocean view from both sides. So no matter which side of the table your guests are sitting at, they have the money shot. Although sometimes it's hard to decide whether to camouflage the kitchen because it is so beautiful.
No, this is good if there's no butler's kitchen, butler's pantry, the chef's kitchen.
What was your
All the food
inspiration
can
with
be
these
prepped
levels
and hidden at the same time.
Angling the kitchen sinks
Kind
like
of takes
you did.
your
The
main
levels
kitchen
are
into
basically
that prep
all
kitchen.
people aren't the same height,
That I'm okay
size, reach. And so I wanted to have a cascade of countertops to offer people different possibilities. And people have children, grandchildren, etc. So it opened that up. The sinks, again, are based on the ceiling. So all of the ceilings are based on a triangle.
Like on this
all of the
symmetry.
sinks and this cabinet in particular are going
borderline
to
OCD.
the point of this roof above and ceiling. And this is actually position alpha, this V. So there's seating there. And this is one of those infinite views looking as far into the ocean
definitely
as you
unique.
can. And then the big panorama once again. So instead of being at some confining little kitchen window, you have the same view as everyone else.
So in terms of appliances in the
view
kitchen,
is
we have a
killer.
Wolf induction cooktop, a Sub-Zero refrigerator, and then hidden behind these panels are Wolf double ovens and the microwave. So beyond just its stunning beauty, the kitchen is very practical, functional, and great for a chef.
I'm working on my filler words, y'all. I'm trying to
We're
stop
heading into
saying
the primary
right.
suite, and one of the things that is always
stop
interesting
saying,
about this room to me, Wally, is the way you curve the wall and that there's no door. It seems like a natural question to ask, why no door, until you look and see the view you would have lost had there been a door.
I wanted them to wake up to the most commanding and beautiful view possible. The daylighting is very interesting in this part of the house. Everywhere you walk, you're walking towards the light. You're walking from east to west, and then there's a series of skylights in an adjacent
want a door there.
that pours light over the walls. The walls do not touch the ceiling in the closets, the bathroom, and the bedroom that are within the structure of the house itself.
It's definitely not a
Another
family
nice
house.
surprise with this home is
If you're not putting that
primary
together.
suite, there are dual primary closets. So that tends to be uncommon this close to the ocean, where space is typically a consideration. This one is particularly beautiful as well because, like the rest of the home, it's art. It's got triangles and angles. The walls don't go all the way to the ceiling to let in light. So you see all the sculpture and the beauty, and there are even light panels.
Yeah, and you hear all
in
the
back corner
noises.
here. So, like so much of the house, more surprises around every corner.
Okay, wait.
The house,
I'm just now looking at this. What kind of drawer space is here? What kind of drawer space is this? Is because it gets so narrow, and you start losing drawer space like almost immediately. This will probably be the most full size drawer, and then it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And I understand he is really working from a symmetrical design point with all these triangles, and truthfully, it's very unique. It's very, very unique. I think it's a little overdone, but it is unique.
More surprises around every corner.
That triangle tub, I could get behind the triangle tub.
So we're here in the primary
I like that it's
bathroom.
sunken in.
So we've got dual sinks, the tub. But Wally, when you talk about what people look at when they brush their teeth, I imagine that's part of why you opened up this window here.
Absolutely. So it's a panorama to the east. The morning sun is coming up. You're brushing your teeth, and that's washing through. Again, the walls don't touch the ceiling.
Would have been nice to get a view from the tub.
From the west and the south and north as well. So here's a bathroom with 4 directions of light. The tub is part of the actual architecture, so it's easy access for grandchildren or anyone. So you can hold on to the counter, easy steps, lay down this way, and the back is sloped appropriately. And so it makes a beautiful sculpture coming up the steps and the intersections,
personally,
and implies the underlying triangular structures.
And also have a view. Why isn't this staircase triangular? Because of the crescent.
So a showstopper in this house is the stainless steel staircase that you designed.
It's a big open sweep, much steeper than the main ramp, but echoing that change of level and ascension.
It
joins all of the spaces in the house levels, and
it's almost
you get
like
this incredible vertical
spine
with a screen of metal and glass, which breaks the view to the neighboring house, but allows the light to come through the space.
Another convenient and beautiful feature of the home is the lift. Convenient because when you pull into the garage, you can come in with your groceries and ride the lift up to the kitchen level.
The elevator experience is usually confining and disturbing, so I wanted maximum light, beautiful materials, woven stainless steel, and to see through the doors continuously, so you can see the floors go by and the space again is as large visually as possible.
Media room
as much as this house
view.
Is about art and architecture, it's also about comfortable living. This room is where the television is. It's cozy, it's comfortable, it has the views that we've come to expect from this house, but it does tend to be one of the favorite rooms of the owners. They spend a lot of time lounging here and find it lovely at night to see the twinkling lights. It's a perfect cozy room that really invites you in. So we're now in the guest house, which is a detached structure from the main house, totally self-contained. And we're on the east side of the house, and yet I have a big ocean view. How did you make that happen?
Basically, we were trying to give everyone the ocean view and not allow rooms to feel second class. So this is a morning room with direct light, and then a southern exposure through these louvered windows. The ramp actually comes through the space and goes outside, so it makes a very sculptural connection to the entire composition.
It looks like
it's really multi-purpose space. The stainless steel wall acts as a light device to bounce the east light into the space, and it also creates
2 Murphy
beds for overflow guests. It actually makes a beautiful apartment for an older child or a parent or guests that you don't wish to see or have connected to you.
And then your guests never want to leave.
That is a problem.
So the bedroom of the guest house, this is one of my favorite rooms.
The object was to create the biggest panorama possible and the largest visual space, and joining the breezeway courtyard to the ocean. So you get this amazing 180-degree view of architecture as well as the sea and the major fire features. And you're seeing the fire features from the side, so you're seeing the stainless steel fins, so it creates an entirely different vista and feeling than the other parts of the house. So you want every room to be special. You don't want it to just simply be a whole series of more of the same. So sculpturally, this creates an extraordinary space and something entirely different than the other rooms.
Here we are right outside of the garage.
So it's two-car
and
garage.
in addition to the concrete and the glass, another unusual detail of the home is these panels are all titanium. Titanium is a metal that is
It's very
impervious to the elements, and that's so important living on the ocean. We
It's
have a
also very
spacious
heavy.
two-car garage with custom cabinetry, and the garage follows the unique angles and architecture of the rest of the house. So even the most utilitarian of spaces here in this home is
Love that
visually stunning.
Continental. That's like one of my favorite cars. With the suicide doorsies.
This magnificent outdoor space is probably the perspective that when I walk in, I feel like I'm on the bow of a ship floating somewhere. And there's so much room here for entertaining, and I notice as I look around all the different vignettes where some of the outdoor space is covered.
Well, the reason for the house being here is, of course, this view. Emphasizing that and collecting all of those views and all of the ephemeral aspects of being by the ocean, the sound, the smell, all of that, getting that into the house and into your face and making you comfortable on various weather conditions. You can actually live outside, which is the dream of everyone in California. The visual connection to all
true.
of the upper spaces
I would love,
flow through that fireplace
house where-
down through this point with the
view
radiating
the ocean
stainless
whenever
steel
I
and
want.
fire, and then connecting to the ocean terrace fire, and then tons of
amazing.
water, clouds, and atmospheric events make this a whole sense of place that you can get from nowhere else. As you travel through it, you're traveling through space and time. So there's hints of the world past and hints of a future.
This house does have that quality.
Crescent House at 532 Neptune Avenue in coastal Encinitas, California, 6,329 square feet, including 4 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, with one of those being a standalone guest house. The property has a pool and these incredible panoramic ocean views. It's a modern masterpiece of architecture. It is a piece of art, really. So live here and life is art. And it's all on the market for $23,500,000.
So before I get into my thoughts and bore you guys as usual, what do you think it's sold for? Place your last bets here. Did it sell over or under? I think that's too easy. You know what? I don't know how to do this. I need to work on it. I could have used a Razor House as like a good comp because that actually is not a terrible comp. La Jolla is a more established. Okay, it's more established for luxury properties. Encinitas is a great place for luxury properties, especially, you know, anything that's going to be facing the ocean in that region of San Diego. In case you're wondering where these places actually are, they're in that direction. So south of Los Angeles, right? South of Los Angeles, for people who cannot figure out geographically how close San Diego is to LA. I know some people probably think LA and San Diego are the same place because a lot of people think LA is California, when obviously California is an extremely, extremely large state. So yes. What do you think it's sold for? And we'll do a reveal in 5, 4, 3, 2. Ended up selling for $16,250,000. Listed it at $17,750. Ended up selling for $16.25. That is what it sold for. If that's all you care about now, perfect. But I look at the pictures. Okay, obviously the pictures are not on Zillow, but because of my profession, realtor, if anyone needs anything, questions, stuff like that, I'm your guy. Okay, so looking at the property like this, you can understand what kind of drew in some of his inspiration, because the lot is irregular. So the lot being irregular, if you're not familiar with lots being regular, irregular, it really means is that the shape of the lot has some sort of curve to it. It's not like a boxed plot. For example, this property over here has what is considered a regular lot. Very straight lines to rectangle, very straight lines. Straight rectangle. That is a regular lot. An irregular lot is going to be like this lot over here too, right? Where it's curving in. So it's not quite a rectangle. That's all a regular lot means. And this is a double lot. So this is 2 lots put together to make this one irregular lot. So there could have been 1 regular lot and then 1 irregular lot combined together to make this massive irregular lot. So putting that together, you have 2 plots of land. So there's value in that. There's value in having 2 plots of land, right? This is how you evaluate the value of a property, is looking into the comparables of everything. So we would look at this as 2 pieces of land, so 2 pieces of dirt, along with the value of the structure, and that's how you figure out value in a property. I know I said it right. Again, I'm working on it, okay? It's not going to be an overnight thing where I don't use the word right as a filler word, okay? So, and I know I use so too, okay? And I'm starting to use okay too much. I'm gonna just start pausing. Whenever I pause awkwardly, that's where the filler word was. So, understanding that the lot was irregular, he decided to build irregularly. So he went along this line here. I'm imagining how he sketched it up. He went along the line of this side of the lot and this side of the lot. So notice how they are congruent with each other. So this is where he got the lines from. This is where everything made sense for him. And obviously the pool, I guess he just drew that in, drew it in, and they liked it, versus having the pool, being infinity edge over the view. They wanted to have the outdoor space encompass the view, and that way they could entertain. And that kind of makes sense to me. That kind of does make sense to me. And you can, again, still see the view from the pool. But when you're in the pool, I mean, of course, you want to be in the pool. And having this ramp here, like I said, it kind of is, reminiscent to David and Gladys's Wright's house. If you haven't seen that house, I actually did, I looked at that property as well. It was actually in jeopardy of being torn down, and it was actually saved by some very smart people. I'm very happy that was saved. But this is like a borrowed element from that house, this ramp, right? This ramp up, with no stairs. And of course there's stairs in the house, but they have that elevator. Man, these people that had that money to put this together, and he said they were older, and it's like, man, that was some old money right there. So Very, very cool. So we'll go ahead and browse through the pictures. I just kind of wanted to, point out those things. So, I mean, it takes a really beautiful aerial picture for sure. And this like steel and concrete, it's really cold. Like I mentioned to you, it's very cold or clean, depending on how you want to take that. It's very, very clean, okay? It's like very industrial. This is not very it's not very warm at all. You have these bedrooms here. So the primary is, from at least what I gathered from the video, the primary is the only room that's on the second floor, which is, I guess, makes it okay that there is no door. But, come on now. Pointing out the obvious, if you're intimate with, your paramour, if you're an intimate person, not having a door and having children, you can only be intimate at certain hours of the day, or when the children are away, or you have to go into a different part of the house, or even go to the secondary, the guest house, and just get some privacy, only for a second, because the kids will probably end up going outside and everything is glass, and it's just, this is not a family house. This is not a family house. I can understand it if again, these people were a little older, so they're only having guests come over, grandchildren, stuff like that. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Most of the time they don't have anyone come over, right? Most of the time they don't have anyone come over. Totally understand it. Very, very beautiful grounds, and that's why I said I get why they didn't put the pool here, because this is really good for entertaining, right? You figure when you're that well off, a lot of other wealthy people, and you host gatherings, which is why it also made sense. I love the staircase, which is why it also made sense that the kitchen had that sliding door, or a glass, panel, not a door, but panel, where the chef or whoever's cooking, whoever's, doing the catering, all the stuff can technically, be out of sight, out of mind. And then you have the bar exposed too, and it's like, hey, let's have drinks. This I don't really remember. This feels, kind of narrow, and then the fire pit is here, and it's almost like it's not part of the house. It is unique. It's cute. It is cute. So back to this kitchen again. It's a regular, okay? A regular kitchen. It's okay. It's just a regular. Right? The whole shapes and panels, and then having these sinks is kind of like, it's weird. Could have went with normal. Again, I understand he's working from a symmetrical aspect. In that part, I totally understand, as far as how his mind is working in the design element of his architecture. Totally understand that. And then it's that closet again, and then it's the bathroom with the sunken in one person bathtub. I didn't like that. So yeah, those other rooms, they're on the bottom. They're on the bottom floor, and then that upper floor is where the primary is, and it's the only room up upstairs. So I'll go ahead and I'll give my little 2 cents, and then I'll let you guys go. As far as the design, aesthetically, it's eye-catching. It's appealing. Again, in terms of the basic modern that could have just been thrown up here, which would have been actually perfectly fine. I'm not going to lie to you. Just a real standard, clean line modern, regardless of trying to maximize the lot, which is what he did with his design. Okay, that is what he did with his design. Going along the lines of the lot. You didn't necessarily have to go as far as he did. Understand that you don't necessarily want the pool especially for these people, what they were doing. They definitely host. You can tell that they host or were hosting events here. Totally understand why you don't want the pool to be at the edge of the bluff where it's taking in the view and taking up all that space. I understand that. You could have still done something to highlight that element and still have the pool there by having the pool go along the line of one side of the lot. I don't necessarily like or love about the Crescent House is how it flowed. To be honest with you, it flowed pretty good, but you can tell the symmetry of the angles was more important of how the house flowed. Could have went with the standard basic kitchen in there. Could have done that, but it wouldn't have went with the lines in the design. And I totally understand that. For what it's worth, the design to maximize on the irregular lot and to take shape with the irregular lot, that is where the design inspiration came from. And then he stuck with the triangle shapes. I think it's overdone. That's what I don't love about it. I think those triangle shapes are overdone. The closet having that weird island piece, right? With the drawers where some of those drawers are going to be fake because there's no drawer you can actually put in there. All of that was fabricated. That's not something you could just go and buy. You can't buy these dresser counter triangle things to put in your closet. That's fabricated. That's something that has to be special made. Those things, the house for them, it had all the purposes in the world for everything that they had going. It was intentional. It was very intentional. The place was cold. The triangle shapes, it's overdone. It's overdone. Not necessarily a fan of the primary not having a door. There were no sliding shades to give privacy because come on now. This is not it's not meant for a family. Now obviously you could put in those automatic shaders and all of that stuff. Whoever owns the property now, they could do that. They could do that. I'm saying the way that it was designed, it wasn't built for you to have the ultimate privacy. Now if you're voyeurist, exhibitionist, and you do some wild stuff, this is a once in a lifetime type of house where you're just gonna have the time of your life. And like I said, one of those quotes that you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Well, this house could be the catalyst to something just like that. So why I'm saying that the house is not ideal for a family, as in if I had the means, which I do believe one day I will, just like I believe one day you will, I would not buy this property because I have a family. If I was in, my 50s, no more children, and I'm just really, at that midlife crisis, have the time of my life, and I have the means, I would buy something like this because I would probably be on that side of being voyeuristic and, being a little exhibitionist, and being an adult. For someone who has children, this is this is not a great place. It's not a great place. I like that he maximized with the very unique modern design, which I really love the aesthetic of the design. And you know, I love how it looks from the outside. He maximized on the lot. I love that. I don't love the kitchen counters. I don't love the sink. Like, they're okay. They're not the worst thing. I love the staircase. I love the elevator. I love the pool. I like the garage, you know, even though I would like a much bigger garage for like more cars, but there is a motorcade, so you'll be fine if you have like multiple cars. But the 2-car garage, it's lacking. It's lacking. I would have liked, you know, 4 car garage minimum. So yeah, the triangle, probably that's the worst thing to me, is the triangle shapes being overdone in areas where it would be better to have something more practical, especially that tub. Like, if you're gonna go with that triangle, you know, tub, at least make it larger and give it a view. That's all I got. Hope you enjoyed the property. I have mixed feelings. If I were grading it out of 10, I give it a 7. I give it a 7. Obviously 10 for the view. 10 out of 10 for the view. Right, 10 out of 10 for the view. The design. Maybe I should start coming up with a grading system, right? But for me, 10 out of 10 for the design. The huge breaking point is the practicality. It's the practicality. The practicality, I give it a 5. Right, practicality, it gets a 5. The interior design, I give that a 8, because I do like the concrete. I do like the how the bathrooms look. There's stuff I like. There's clearly stuff I like. It's just the practicality, the flow of the property. I give a 7. I give that a 7 too. Right? Was it the best flow? No, not at all. So, I mean, in total, I would give the property a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. But yeah, maybe I'll come up with a grading system. I'm gonna write that idea down, come up with a grading system. And then I'll just grade all the properties. I'll probably save a whole lot of time right there. And then you guys won't have to listen to me rant about how much I like or how much I don't like something. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. See you guys on the next one. Peace.